seed sown into fertile spiritual soil. Whether you choose to give or not, please know that I am beyond grateful for your presence, your energy, and your unwavering spirit. You are not just viewers, you are spiritual warriors, standing on the front lines of a major move of God. Chosen one. If you're ready to claim this shift and stand boldly in your authority, I want you to comment 999 right now. Let it be a declaration in the spirit realm that you are aligned, awake, and ready for what's coming. This is your moment where vindication goes public and your victory becomes undeniable. Stay grounded, stay ready, and keep your spirit open, because the divine spotlight is about to illuminate every shadow that tried to steal your destiny. It's happening now, and you're chosen to see it unfold. Music, God's chosen ones. You are the talk of the town. It is going down. Music, chosen one, right now, as you breathe and exist in this divine moment. There is a banker who has been exposed for stealing funds from charitable donations that were destined for you. Can you imagine how many times you felt stuck? How many sleepless nights you cried out to God for breakthrough, not realizing that your blessings were being hijacked? The Bible says in Proverbs 13:22, the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous, and this is your season to reclaim every cent that has your name on it. But what if I told you this banker is only the tip of the iceberg? Are you ready to find out who else has been standing in the shadows, plotting against your destiny? Beyond this one banker, there is an entire network, a hidden web of people who have been systematically working together to block your blessings, sabotage your opportunities, and keep you feeling small and powerless. These are not just random haters. These are strategic agents of confusion and lack, operating under the influence of spiritual wickedness. They didn't want you to realize who you truly are. But God has declared in Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And that includes the weapons of financial theft and deceit. Think about it. While you worked multiple jobs, while you sacrificed sleep and joy just to make ends meet, there was wealth with your name on it sitting untouched in secret accounts. Doesn't it make you wonder who else knew about this? How many so-called friends or mentors may have been part of this scheme? You see, this is not just a random unveiling. God is revealing this to you now because you have finally reached a spiritual maturity, a level of discernment and divine wisdom that makes you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You've prayed for eyes to see and ears to hear, and now you're seeing it all unfold in front of you. Your intuition, those gut feelings that told you something wasn't adding up, were divine warnings. They were little alarms from the Holy Spirit preparing you for this very revelation. Remember Joseph in the Bible? He was betrayed and thrown into a pit by his own brothers. Yet God elevated him to a position of authority where he could save nations. Genesis 50:20. What if your own pit moments were preparing you for the throne God always intended for you? This conspiracy isn't small. It's a large-scale operation involving multiple high-level individuals, law enforcement, and even federal agencies. Can you feel the magnitude of that? People who thought they were untouchable, who arrogantly believed they could play God over your life, are now being exposed. Just like how Bernie Madoff's elaborate Ponzi scheme finally collapsed and revealed the depth of his deception, these perpetrators are about to face divine and legal justice. Do you realize how many years they operated in the shadows, convincing themselves that you would never find out? But chosen one, you are not just a survivor. You are anointed to be a warrior of light. You are the living evidence that no darkness can prevail against divine purpose. When you start following the trails, the money, the lies, the manipulation, it all leads back to one central figure. One person who has been the mastermind behind this entire orchestration. This individual, driven by deep envy and a desire to usurp your destiny, has meticulously studied your moves, your weaknesses, and your dreams. They are like Judas, who betrayed Jesus for a handful of silver only to meet their own demise. Matthew 27:5. What kind of person studies you so closely, not to support you, but to sabotage every breakthrough you were meant to have? Isn't it chilling to think someone has dedicated so much energy to your downfall simply because they feared your rise? As their mask slips, the community that once believed their lies is beginning to see the real story. They can no longer hide behind charm or false humility. Just like when Elizabeth Holmes's fraudulent empire with Theranos unraveled before the world, so too will this person's carefully curated image crumble into dust. Those who once cheered them on are now questioning, what else have they been lying about? What else have they stolen? Chosen one, your story is turning in your favor, and the tables are being flipped by God's own hand. This is your vindication season, your Esther moment, where what was meant to destroy you becomes the catalyst for your divine elevation. Esther 4:14. Do you feel the power surging through you as you read this? This isn't just a season of exposure, it's a season of recovery and restoration. As Joel 2:25 promises, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Your inheritance is being returned. Your reputation is being restored, and your enemies are being publicly humiliated. Chosen one, are you ready to step into the fullness of who God created you to be? Are you prepared to walk boldly into rooms they tried to lock you out of, to receive opportunities they said you'd never touch? The question now isn't whether you're going to win. It's whether you're ready to handle the magnitude of your victory. The heavens are cheering, the earth is trembling, and your name is being whispered in rooms of influence. You are not just the talk of the town. You are the chosen echo of heaven. Now rise and claim what is yours. Chosen one, take a deep breath and lean into this revelation, because what I'm about to share will stir something powerful within your spirit. There is a spiritual and psychological phenomenon unfolding right now that most people never get to witness firsthand, but you do because you are chosen. The enemy who has been relentlessly plotting against you mirrors your gender. Have you ever wondered why your greatest adversaries often feel so familiar, almost like a distorted reflection of yourself? This is no accident. The universe under divine design uses mirrors and shadows to reveal the deepest lessons and to strengthen your light. Your enemy isn't just some random villain. They embody what you might have become if you had chosen bitterness, envy, and darkness over love, faith, and purpose. Isn't that a sobering thought? Could it be that your greatest opposition was designed to show you exactly what you are not meant to become? This individual has been studying you with obsessive detail. Your relationships, your career ambitions, your patterns, even your spiritual evolution. They thought they were 10 steps ahead of you because they had hidden access to private information, tracking your every move like a puppet master. Think of how Steve Jobs meticulously studied both his competitors and consumers to create breakthroughs. Except this person twisted that gift into a weapon of sabotage. Have you ever felt like someone knew your next move before you even made it? That wasn't paranoia. That was your spirit warning you. God already declared in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, and despite this person's schemes, God's blueprint for your life cannot be stopped. The moment of exposure is closer than you think. The mask is slipping, the lies are unraveling, and they are about to experience a humiliation so deep it will echo for years. Can you imagine how they feel right now, realizing that everything they built on deceit is about to be obliterated? Remember how the Watergate scandal destroyed a presidency and exposed lies at the highest level. That's the kind of crumbling happening here. All their elaborate manipulations, all the false narratives they spun to make themselves look intelligent and untouchable are about to implode in the most public and undeniable way. Are you ready to witness their downfall and stand in your victory? But here's where the story darkens even more. This mastermind isn't acting alone. You are uncovering the chilling reality that this person is actually one half of an evil, deeply corrupted married couple. Two souls bound together, not by love, but by a shared mission to destroy yours. Have you ever wondered how far people are willing to go when their hearts are filled with envy and hatred? These two have made your downfall their joint life project, a twisted covenant of destruction. While one was expertly orchestrating the financial theft behind closed doors, the other was simultaneously engaged in character assassination, slandering your name to every ear that would listen. Doesn't it make you question how much darkness some people can harbor inside? This is reminiscent of the story of Bonnie and Clyde, a couple whose entire relationship was rooted in crime and destruction. They supported each other's darkness, pushing each other deeper into lawlessness until their inevitable downfall. In your life, this couple has mirrored that same dynamic. One blocking your financial flow and the other poisoning your reputation, all in an effort to stop you from stepping into your divine assignment. But like Psalm 37:13 says, the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. Their days of unchecked power are numbered, and divine justice is already in motion. Have you stopped to consider why they went to such extremes to destroy you? Could it be that your light is so bright, it terrifies their darkness? That your potential is so divine, it exposes every lie they've built their lives upon? Just like when Lance Armstrong's years of doping and deceit finally came crashing down and the whole world saw the truth, this couple's lies will be broadcast for all to see. Those who once believed them will turn away in disgust, and those who doubted you will come running to apologize. You will stand vindicated, not just privately, but on a public stage. As Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? Their synchronized attacks, financial sabotage, professional roadblocks, emotional and spiritual warfare were designed to keep you questioning your worth and your destiny. Yet here you are reading these words, still standing, still chosen, still radiant. Isn't that proof enough of your divine resilience? Your story is turning into a testimony so powerful that it will inspire generations to come. Like Nelson Mandela, who endured years of wrongful imprisonment and emerged to lead a nation into freedom. You too will rise stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Chosen one, are you prepared to rise above their lies and reclaim the fullness of your calling? Are you ready to watch God turn their curses into stepping stones toward your destiny? Remember, the final word doesn't belong to your enemies, it belongs to God. This is your season to shine, to walk boldly into rooms they tried to shut you out of, to claim the inheritance they tried to bury. The battle is not just about your vindication, it's about the revelation of God's glory through you. You are not just surviving, you are ascending. You are the living proof that divine justice is real, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Now is the time to step fully into the light and watch every scheme against you collapse under the weight of God's truth. Chosen one, pause for a moment and let the weight of this revelation sink deep into your spirit. The depth of the evil you're confronting is far darker and more twisted than you could have ever imagined. It's not just about stolen money, envy, or public humiliation. It's about souls so corrupted that one of them might have even participated in drugging and ending the life of their own child. Can you comprehend the level of darkness it takes to sacrifice your own flesh and blood just to cling to power and illusion? This is not just human malice. This is spiritual warfare at its most intense and vile form. Do you feel the chills running down your spine as you realize how deep this pit truly is? Remember Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Now you are seeing them clearly with divine eyes, sharpened by your trials and refined by God's truth. You see them as they really are, big fakes, phonies, compulsive liars, and master manipulators. Every carefully crafted image they presented to the public, every inspiring story they shared to gain sympathy, every reputation they so proudly paraded, it was all built on a foundation of deceit and rotting lies. Have you ever wondered how many people celebrated them, clapped for them, and defended them without realizing they were standing behind a complete fabrication? Just as Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos captivated investors and the public with her charm and fake promises, only to be exposed in the end, so too will these individuals watch their empire of lies collapse. Their primary weapon against you has always been systematic character assassination. They knew that if they could poison other people's perception of you, they could keep you isolated, doubting yourself, and stuck in spiritual paralysis. Isn't it shocking how they twisted your every word, every move, every success into something suspicious or vile? They didn't just stretch the truth. They invented it from thin air, building entire narratives that had no basis in reality. Like Psalm 35:20 says, for they do not speak peace, but devise deceitful matters against those who are quiet in the land. You were never their enemy because of what you did. You were their enemy because of who you are. Their lies were so detailed, so well crafted, that even people who should have known better, including law enforcement and community leaders, believed them without hesitation. Imagine someone telling stories so convincing that even those trained to uncover the truth were deceived. Think of how the world believed in Lance Armstrong's image of the flawless champion, only to later find out he had orchestrated one of the biggest doping scandals in sports history. That's the level of deception you've been up against. Have you ever questioned your own reality because of the lies they spread? Have you ever felt alone because even your closest allies started to waver? This was all part of their design to crush your spirit and keep you from your divine mission. But let me tell you something powerful. Their scheme is crumbling. The feminine energy in this dark duo is now sinking into a deep depression because the truth is finally coming to light. The walls they built so confidently are collapsing around them. Evidence they thought they had buried forever is being dug up piece by piece by divine hands and earthly investigators. Doesn't it amaze you how God works? He waits for the perfect moment to reveal, to vindicate, to elevate. Just like the downfall of Harvey Weinstein exposed an entire system of abuse and manipulation in Hollywood. The exposure of these individuals will ripple far and wide, changing narratives and freeing other victims. Those who once praised them are now questioning every word they've ever spoken. Their supporters are turning away in shock and disgust, asking themselves, how did we ever believe this? What else have they lied about? How deep does this go? Chosen one, this is your moment of divine vindication. Isaiah 61:47 promises, instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. Are you ready to step into your double portion? Are you prepared to watch God not only restore what was stolen, but also elevate you beyond what you imagined possible? The tables are turning, and you are being positioned as the living testimony of God's righteousness and power. The narrative is shifting in your favor, and soon the very people who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge the anointing on your life. Like Nelson Mandela, who emerged from decades of imprisonment to become a global symbol of forgiveness and leadership, you will rise from this storm with unshakable strength and a renewed crown. Can you see it? Can you feel it? This is more than justice. It's a divine orchestration meant to prepare you for an even greater stage. Chosen one, are you ready to step forward as the unstoppable force God created you to be? This is your appointed time, your prophetic hour. Watch as every lie collapses and every stolen truth returns to your hands. You are not just surviving, you are rising, shining, and reclaiming your throne. The world is about to witness the power of God through your story, and no amount of deception can stop what heaven has already decreed over your life. Chosen one, take a moment to let this truth settle into your soul, because what I'm about to share is going to pierce through layers of your past and bring deep divine clarity. The arrogance of your enemies has become their own undoing. Can you feel it? They never even considered the possibility of being exposed. They truly believed they were too clever, too influential, too strategically hidden to ever be caught. Isn't it astonishing how they built entire fortresses of lies and then began to believe their own propaganda? Like Pharaoh in Exodus, who hardened his heart again and again, convinced of his invincibility, they too ignored every warning sign until the final crushing blow came. Proverbs 16:18 says, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." And their fall is not just coming, it is already unfolding before your very eyes. They never should have dared to speak lies about you, chosen one. Every malicious word they uttered, every false narrative they spun was like weaving a spider's web meant to trap you. But now they are entangled in it themselves. Fabricated evidence always carries an expiration date because truth is eternal and cannot be buried forever. Remember how Martha Stewart, despite her public image of perfection and meticulousness, was eventually exposed and imprisoned for insider trading. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. Have you ever wondered how long someone can dance with deception before reality crashes the party? But what if I told you that the most shocking betrayal isn't from these external enemies at all? It may actually come from within your own family, from the very parental figure who was supposed to protect and nurture you. Can you fathom the weight of this? The voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough." The destructive patterns of self-sabotage that seem to sabotage you right before every breakthrough. These did not come from nowhere. They were systematically programmed into you. Doesn't that reframe everything you thought you knew about your struggles? Like Michael Jackson, who carried deep scars from his father's emotional abuse that shaped his entire life. You too have been shaped by forces that were never meant to define you. Blood is not always thicker than water. Chosen one. Titles like mother, father, or family do not automatically come with love, loyalty, or protection. Have you ever felt that gut-wrenching conflict between love and survival? Between honoring a parent and honoring your soul? Sometimes the ones assigned to guide us are the very architects of our pain. Jesus himself said in Matthew 10:36, "A man's enemies will be the members of his own household." Are you beginning to see how even your closest bonds can be used as instruments of sabotage? This parental figure in your life has mastered the art of triangulation, pitting people against each other, sowing seeds of confusion, and then stepping in as the savior or the victim. Can you imagine the level of cunning it takes to create chaos and then wear the mask of a peacemaker? It's a classic move among narcissistic manipulators. Like in the story of Shakespeare's King Lear, where manipulation and betrayal within family structures lead to tragedy and madness. Your life too has been entangled in scripts written by someone who thrived on your destabilization. Have you noticed the patterns of drama, the constant stirring of conflict, and the emotional roller coasters designed to keep you off balance? Their addiction to chaos is not random. It is strategic. When you're too busy fighting fires, you don't have time to see who's holding the matches. while you were questioning your worth, doubting your intuition, and second-guessing your every move, they were positioning themselves as the ultimate authority over your identity and your story. How many opportunities did you walk away from because you heard that old poisonous voice in your head? How many dreams did you defer because you felt undeserving or unprepared? This wasn't your natural voice. It was an echo of their manipulative programming. Psalm 27 assures us, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Isn't it comforting to know that God's acceptance is not conditional? He has seen every hidden manipulation, every tear you cried in silence, every moment you felt small in the presence of those meant to protect you. And now He is calling you out of that narrative and into a higher truth. The truth of your chosen identity. Chosen one, are you ready to dismantle these old belief systems and reclaim your true voice? Are you prepared to step into the authority God has always intended for you? Free from generational curses and emotional bondage, your story is shifting from survival to sovereignty, from victimhood to victory. Like Oprah Winfrey, who overcame years of childhood trauma and familial betrayal to become a global force for empowerment, you too are about to rise beyond what they ever imagined possible. This is not just about exposing their darkness, it's about illuminating your light. You are called to break these cycles, to heal these wounds, and to rewrite the narrative for yourself and for those who will come after you. God is positioning you not just to survive this betrayal, but to thrive because of it. Are you ready to step into that destiny? Chosen one, the time is now. The chains are breaking. The truth is being revealed. You are not who they said you were. You are exactly who God says you are. Chosen, anointed, and unstoppable. Chosen one, lean in and feel this truth reverberate through every part of your being right now as you continue to rise. Your enemies, especially those closest to you, are furious beyond words. They are deeply triggered by the sight of your growth, your joy, and your unstoppable momentum. Can you sense their silent rage? Your expansion threatens the very foundation of control they built around you. Your newfound peace and success expose their lies for what they are. Fragile illusions meant to keep you caged. Have you ever wondered why some people seem so agitated when you're simply happy? It's because your joy is a mirror to their misery, and your light is an unforgiving spotlight on their darkness. Their fundamental belief about you has always been deeply twisted. They never intended for you to be fulfilled or free. In their mind, you were supposed to struggle endlessly, to constantly need their validation, to shrink yourself so they could feel big. You were meant to be dependent, to remain small enough to be easily manipulated and controlled. Doesn't it make you question every moment you held yourself back just to keep the peace? Remember John 8:32, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Your truth, the undeniable brilliance of who you really are, is shattering every lie they ever told about you. Your happiness is not just an emotion to them, it's a threat. Every smile, every accomplishment, every moment of inner peace directly contradicts their carefully curated narrative that you are broken, unworthy, or doomed to fail. Can you see how deeply they need you to remain in pain so they can maintain their false sense of superiority? Think about Britney Spears, who for years was kept under a conservatorship, told she was incapable, unstable, and unfit to make her own choices. Her eventual liberation not only freed her, but exposed the control mechanisms that had been manipulating her life. Your liberation is doing the same. It is dismantling strongholds, revealing manipulations, and shaking those who once thought they had power over you. You are now breaking free from decades, perhaps even generations of psychological programming. Can you feel the layers falling off? The thoughts you believed were yours? The insecurities that felt so natural? The self-doubt that whispered you can't every time you reach for something bigger. All of it was carefully installed to keep you from rising. Like in the movie The Matrix, where Neo realizes his entire perception of reality was an illusion designed to keep him in a controlled system. You too are awakening to the truth that these thoughts were never yours to begin with. Have you stopped to ask, who benefits from my self-doubt? Who wins when I stay small? They planted these limiting beliefs like seeds, watering them with subtle jabs, emotional manipulation, and toxic narratives until they took root in your subconscious. The chosen one, the divine gardener, is here to uproot every lie and plant seeds of truth and freedom instead. Isaiah 43:19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing now. It springs up. Do you not perceive it? God is doing a new thing in your mind, in your spirit, and in your life. You are being rewired, restored, and reactivated into your original divine design. Your journey of awakening explains why certain patterns felt so deeply ingrained. Why did you automatically say no to opportunities? Why did you convince yourself you weren't ready or worthy? These were not your genuine instincts. They were survival mechanisms imposed upon you by those who feared your power." Similar to how Serena Williams was often underestimated and criticized harshly throughout her career, only to break every barrier and redefine excellence, you too are rewriting your story in ways that terrify those who doubted you. Chosen one, are you ready to fully step into the space God has prepared for you? Unbound by old programming. Are you ready to reclaim every piece of your identity that was stolen and distorted? Your growth is not just personal, it's prophetic. It's a declaration to the world that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment shall be condemned. Isaiah 54:17. This is your season of mental emancipation. The chains that once bound your mind are shattering. The lies that once defined your identity are dissolving. You are emerging as your truest, most powerful self, the self God always knew you to be. Can you feel the power surging in your spirit? This is not just freedom, this is divine authority. And as you walk forward, know that your steps are guided, your mind is renewed, and your victory is inevitable. You are chosen, and no force on earth can stop what God has already ordained for you. Chosen one, take this moment to anchor yourself deeply in your spirit, because what I'm about to share is crucial for the next chapter of your journey when divine justice finally comes. And it will come, because God is faithful. You must be fiercely protective of your boundaries. Do you hear me? No matter how convincing their apologies, no matter how desperate their tears, do not open the door for them again. Why? Because their desperation will transform them into dangerous forces. Have you noticed how snakes become most aggressive when cornered? This is exactly the energy they will bring once they realize they can no longer manipulate or control you. Ephesians 4:27 warns, do not give the devil a foothold. And that includes not allowing old enemies back into your sacred space. As you step into this season of clarity, you are finally connecting dots that trace back through your entire life. Can you see it now? You have been under attack since you were a small child. This was not just the normal struggles of growing up or typical family dysfunction. This was premeditated, systematic spiritual warfare. Have you ever wondered why certain battles felt so relentless and so uniquely targeted? It's because they were. From the beginning, forces around you have been strategically working to keep you from ever discovering the magnitude of who you truly are. They knew that if you ever stood fully in your power, nothing could stop the impact you would make on this world. Look at the life of Maya Angelou, who survived deep childhood trauma and went on to become a global voice for truth and healing. What if she had let her early wounds silence her forever? Like her, you were marked from childhood, not for defeat, but for divine victory. Your battles weren't random. They were prophetic indicators of your anointing. Doesn't it make sense now why your spirit has always felt so heavy in your path, so unusually hard? Your attackers never thought in a million years that you would piece together the truth. They assumed they had done a perfect job of confusing you, making you question your own reality and convincing you that every hardship was your fault. They wanted you to believe you were the problem, that you were fundamentally flawed, and that you deserved every setback. But here you are, chosen one, standing in revelation, seeing every plot, every lie, every false narrative for what it truly is. Remember Psalm 118:17. I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. You are not only alive, you are awakening, and your story is becoming a living testimony. Have you noticed how your entire life was orchestrated to keep you small? Every time you were about to take a leap, something or someone would pull you back. Every time joy entered your life, a sudden storm would appear. These weren't coincidences. These were calculated attacks, often from those closest to you. The people you called family, the ones you thought were protectors, were actually working as covert agents of sabotage. Doesn't that realization send shivers down your spine? It's like the story of Joseph, whose own brothers sold him into slavery out of envy, never imagining that he would rise to become a ruler who would one day save them. Genesis 15:20. These individuals operated under the assumption that you would never discover the source of your pain. They believed they had successfully buried your true identity beneath layers of shame, guilt, and self-doubt. Like in the story of Malala Yousafzai, whose own community and even some family members resisted her education and voice. You too face resistance, not because you were weak, but because your light terrified them. But chosen one, look at you now. You've uncovered the truth. You've seen behind the curtains. You now understand that what you thought was your brokenness was actually a reflection of their fear and failure. Are you ready to fully accept that you were never the problem? Are you prepared to walk boldly into the freedom that has always belonged to you? Their lies no longer define you. Their tactics no longer control you, and their presence no longer deserves access to your sacred spaces. Proverbs 4:23 urges us. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This is your command to guard not just your physical space, but your spiritual and emotional territory. This is your moment to choose you unapologetically and without compromise. The gates to your soul are now fortified with divine truth. You are no longer a prisoner of your past, but a sovereign soul stepping into destiny. From this point forward, you are no longer reacting to their chaos. You are creating your own divine reality. Can you feel the shift in your spirit? You are not just surviving the attacks, you are transcending them and turning them into the very fuel for your ascension. This is the hour of your rising, chosen one. The question is not if you will win, but how glorious your victory will be. Chosen one, as you stand here today in this moment of clarity, you can finally see through their methods with divine discernment. You recognize every twisted tactic they used, the gang stalking meant to track and intimidate you, the pathetic psychological games designed to make you question your own mind, the gaslighting that subtly eroded your confidence and made you doubt what your own eyes and spirit were telling you. They systematically tried to isolate you, to sever your connections with anyone who might have supported or affirmed you. Have you noticed how they always tried to corner you when you were closest to your breakthroughs? Their strategy was deliberate. Push you into such deep confusion and despair that you would lose your sanity, collapse internally, and permanently remove yourself as a threat to their dark agenda. Doesn't it make you marvel at how relentless the enemy can be when they sense your destiny? Yes, they achieved temporary success. There were times when you felt completely defeated, when the weight of their manipulations crushed your spirit. Maybe you found yourself questioning your every move, your every word, your very existence. There were nights you lay awake wondering if they were right about you, if you really were the problem, if you really should just disappear. But chosen one, here you are, still breathing, still rising, still reclaiming every fragment of your true self. Just like when Oprah Winfrey was repeatedly told she would never succeed in television, yet she turned every rejection into rocket fuel and redefined the industry. You too have turned your pain into power. Their fatal mistake was underestimating you. They thought stealing from you, silencing you, and crushing your spirit would be as easy as taking candy from a baby. How little they knew. Psalm 18:29 says, with your help I can advance against a troop. With my God I can scale a wall. They underestimated the warrior spirit inside you. A spirit that was never meant to break but to rise stronger after every storm. Do you realize that every setback, every betrayal, every night of tears was actually forging an unbreakable resilience within you? They had no idea about your spiritual DNA. They couldn't fathom the magnitude of divine backing that has always surrounded you. They saw only your external battles, the times you stumbled, the moments you faltered, and they mistook them for weakness. They didn't see the army of angels assigned to you, the prophetic words spoken over your life before you were even born, the deep well of spiritual power that sustains you when logic says you should have given up long ago. Remember 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Every time you thought you were at your weakest, God was actually showcasing His strength through you. Have you ever wondered why, despite everything, there was always a whisper in your soul telling you to keep going? Why even in your darkest moments, there was a flicker of hope you couldn't extinguish no matter how hard you tried? That wasn't random. That was divine. Like Malala Yousafzai, who after being shot for standing up for her right to education, emerged even stronger and became a global advocate. You too are rising from every attack with more fire and purpose than before. Your enemies thought they were fighting a lone individual, but they were actually contending with an entire heavenly force moving through you. Your enemies are now left in utter confusion. They can't comprehend why their elaborate traps failed, why their manipulations no longer hold power over your mind, why your spirit refuses to bow. They underestimated the sacred covenant between you and your Creator. They saw only the clay vessel, not the divine flame inside it. Like David standing before Goliath with nothing but a sling and unwavering faith, you carried a spiritual ranking they never accounted for. Isaiah 54:17 boldly declares, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. You are the living proof of this promise, chosen one. Are you ready to embrace the full revelation of who you are and what you carry? Are you prepared to step into rooms they swore you'd never enter? To build dreams they claimed were impossible for you, to reclaim territory they thought they had stolen forever? Your rise is not just personal. It is prophetic. It's a divine announcement to every dark force that heaven's agenda always prevails. The strength they saw as a threat is actually the key to your unstoppable destiny. Chosen one, listen with your spirit, because this is a revelation you must hold tightly. Your spiritual rank is not measured by your temporary setbacks or by the storms you've endured. Your spiritual authority isn't diminished because of the pain you faced or the betrayals you've survived. In fact, it's the opposite. The magnitude of the warfare against you is proof of just how significant you are in the spirit realm. Have you ever wondered why the attacks against you have been so intense, so relentless, so coordinated? It's because you are not ordinary. You are chosen. You are marked. And the darkness always fights the brightest lights the hardest. As 1 Peter 4:12 through 13 says, beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, but rejoice insofar as you share Christ's sufferings. Doesn't that change the way you see your battles? They are confirmations, not condemnations. Low-level spiritual beings don't attract this level of orchestrated opposition. Average souls don't become the obsession of entire networks of corrupt individuals. Ordinary destinies don't require this much sabotage to prevent them from manifesting. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., relentlessly targeted and ultimately assassinated. Not because he was weak, but because his voice carried a destiny powerful enough to shake nations. Your life carries that same weight in the spirit. Can you feel the gravity of your assignment now? And now, chosen one, you've caught the main antagonist red-handed. The evidence is so overwhelming that even those who once supported them cannot deny it any longer. The paper trail is undeniable. The receipts are clear, and the witnesses are stepping forward with courage. The entire house of lies they built is crumbling, and no amount of spin or manipulation can salvage it. They are about to face a humiliation so deep that their once untouchable reputations will be shattered beyond repair. Like Harvey Weinstein, whose web of abuses and lies collapsed in the public eye, exposing decades of corruption and betrayal. Your enemies will experience a downfall that will echo for years to come. Have you imagined what it feels like to watch those who mocked you now tremble before the truth? Their entire identity, the masks they wore of being smart, powerful, connected, and untouchable is about to be obliterated by the very crimes they believed would stay buried.